Riotminds presents an award-winning role-playing game, Trudvang Chronicles. There are many tales and sagas about Trudvang. Many songs about the fallen heroes. Based on the Norse and Celtic myths and legends, Riotminds present a world of endless adventures. Draw your sword, call upon the gods, weave your magic.
Right, let's see. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to session 1. Yay! So this is campaign session 1. Campaign 1, session 1. We're all new to this, so bear with us a little bit. Yeah, this is our... Yeah, I don't know. Can I fix that or... Will do. Yeah, doing that. Let's see if it works. Okay, I can see myself, I can see Alpakka, I can see Brian. I don't see Siggi anymore. Let's try it again. So, now I can't see anybody. Let's try it again. Yeah, no. Let's give it a second. So, I will just introduce ourselves. So, yeah, bear with us a little bit. We are all new to both. Well, we have some streamers here, but I'm new. This is my second time streaming ever. If you saw the first video about session 0, it was about 4 hours long. So if you managed to watch through all of that, that's cool. If not, I don't blame you. Anyway, so this is campaign 1, session 1. We will start with an introduction adventure, very simple one, and because most of our players here are brand new to this game, pretty much. They have the books since 2016 when they had a Kickstarter, but they didn't really play the game or yeah, so on, right? So we're all new to this, so just bear with us a little bit. And this is my third time DMing ever. So yeah, figure this out. We're gonna figure it out. Let's see if I can reconnect the videos again. I don't think my nothing is happening in Roll20 right now, and I'm clicking. Let's see. Oh, we don't want to. That would be fun. I'm gonna reload the page and we'll see. This is also our first time using Roll20, at least for me. So yeah, bear with us a little bit. Let's see if I can get it to work. Right now it doesn't even want to restart. Page unresponsive. Exit page. Ah, great! This is working perfectly. Oh, 20. Let's try it again. Okay, launch game. Is this pretty... I mean, you guys that have been using Roll20 before, is this common? These kind of problems? Or... yeah. Yeah. So I still can't see the video. I'm back in again now anyway. Oh, Alpakka might be coming on now. I see something black. Maybe. Let me try to reconnect again. It would be fun to see you guys' faces. Oh, you beautiful, beautiful faces. Do you guys need to reconnect yourselves as well, perhaps? Oh, something is happening. Nope, didn't work. Good times. One more time. One more time. We should have done this before, and we kind of did. We got most of us working before, but yeah. And I mean, I guess the most important would be me for you guys. Okay, I see Brian. Hello, Brian. Hello. Oh, I see people. Amazing. Okay, don't touch anything. Oh, I see Flynn. Hello, Flynn. Welcome. Awesome. Okay, so let's begin. Somebody is making a lot of sounds in the background about a cat or something. So the adventure starts in the country of Ejdland. Let's see if I can show a picture of Ejdland, perhaps, just to get some here maps. Here, let's do this. Okay, here's Ejdland. So the adventure begins in the country of Ejdland, which is part of the Stormlands in the east part of Trudvang. And Ejdland is a little bit special in the Stormlands because that's the only place in the Stormlands where people are blonde haired and like red hair and stuff like that. Usually the Stormlandish people are have a more dark complexion, like raven black hair, which they inherited from their ancestors in the Wildfolk in the north, the wild people in the north. So this is kind of a special place in that regard, that the people are a little bit. I guess they are descendants from other types of people than in the rest of Stormlands. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And we begin in the middle of Ejdland, between the massive forest of Wildheart and the little bit smaller but still massive forest of Copper Woods on the plains there north of the what do you call them? The Iron Hills? Yeah. No, Grim Hills. So that's where we start, and we start on a small farm. So we're all on the farm called Jukashearth. It's a pretty small farm. There's like a longhouse and a barn and some outhouses for thralls and stuff, but nothing more than that. Pretty much, there's not even a wooden palisade around it. It's nothing to defend it or anything. It's just a small farm. And you've been here for about 10 days working, helping out in different regards, depending on kind of what your character is good at. But mostly you've been here to help out with the harvest. So let's start by introducing our characters and who you are. Maybe who you are in real life, what your character is and what you're playing, and what your archetype is and stuff like that. So let's start with Alpakka. Here's Alpakka. Oh, don't move. I'm zooming in on you right now, man. Don't move him. Oh, I can't even see that, actually. Are you moving him right now? Oh, now I see. Okay, yeah. So, Alpakka, where are you from in real life? Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Have you played any other role-playing games before? Mm-hmm. All right. You were thrown out? What do you mean? Oh, by the way, or can we hear Discord? Can you say something? Yeah, listen, I don't know if actually maybe it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing sounds now. From you?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. I changed the settings because I updated my computer recently, so the settings got changed and stuff. But you should be able to hear the people now. Try to say something.
Yeah, I'm hearing everything right
Okay.
now. I heard myself.
All right. Awesome. So
it's pretty rare to hear it listen to self.
Alpakka, please, like I said, guys, this is my second time streaming, so sorry. Alpakka, please start from the beginning again. Who are you and where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Oslo, Norway, living 1 hour at the moment outside of Oslo, and I've been playing D&D and been thrown out of that group. Just
really? Why?
Well,
why did you get thrown out?
Because the group was only for the theater guys.
Theater guys.
Yeah, and I wanted to join them, the theater, if they wanted me to play more with them, but they just throw me out.
Oh, that
Like
sucks.
a goldfish. Yeah.
Well,
So,
you're more than welcome to join us instead, so don't worry about it. So, who are you playing in the game?
At the moment, I've been playing as Wildhelm. This guy,
Is it Heim or Helm?
Helm.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't misspell it.
So
where are you from?
Waldhelm.
Where is your character from?
The character is from up north, around the place called. Let me see. Just gonna open the the map again. I'm from the northern part of the north of. Oh, come on. North.
Like the Darkwoods, the east Darkwoods, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm from East Darkwood, just north of Ilhad.
Okay.
Just between Ilhad and Wurtland, just north of there.
Cool. And I've actually put up a map on the stream now as well, so people can see. So like, Ildebard, right, in the Downbelt, in the country of Downbelt, in Midland actually, in the massive eastern Darkwoods up there, huh?
Yeah, just a hole in the land.
Right, so if we look on this map, we can see that's quite far away from Ejdland in the southeast, down in the southeast Stormlands there, right? So how did you make your way out to there?
I actually was hunted out of my village, or the community we were in. Yeah. So I had to run from the forest. I was running downwards, south, west, or east.
So you pretty much had to run away from home.
Yeah. Right. I've been running through the storm, into the Stormlands, and happened to go into the place called Stormrock, just to buy me some stuff. I was just following a road and happened to end up there at the moment.
All right, fair enough.
And from there, I was joining a band of other guys. Or how much of the background should I tell? Everything or just
no,
something?
Not everything. I mean, whatever you want other people to know. And of course, we need to have a difference between character knowledge and player knowledge, right? So now all of us kind of know everything, but the characters might not know all of this, right? So so you're what's your archetype?
I'm a rogue.
Okay. And do you have anything special or anything like
that? My special ability is actually some delusion Vitner.
Okay, so you have a little bit of Vitner Weaver as well. Vitner Weaver in this game are the wizards or the mages, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Trudvang. It's kind of easy to mix and match a little bit. You pick your archetype. That's like your base skills and stuff, but then you can very easily go into other areas as well if you want to. So yeah, that's cool. And so you're now on Jukashearth, the farm, Jukashearth, and what are you doing on the farm? Are you helping with the harvest or what?
I'm actually, well, as I was writing in the few moments this morning, and I'm actually in his wagon, and actually recovering.
You're there recovering?
Yeah, from something.
So if you're there being sick or recovering, how do you pay your way? How do you pay for staying there?
I paid him. Said I'm gonna pay him by working for him.
Okay, so you kind of been recovering a little bit, and then you kind of worked for him as a payback then.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Nice to have you, Alpakka. What about you, Brian?
So I am from New York originally. I'm living in San Antonio, Texas right now. I'm retired Air Force.
Nice.
I've been on Twitch before in the D6 Holocron game, the Conrad Deception for Star Wars D6. And I'm also doing the Tomb of Annihilation here on Roll20 as well. So I will be playing Jorin Ravenhold. He is the son of a Stormlander Ranger, Colgrim Ravenhold, and a Ilhamaini elf, Vivani. He is Colgrim was a Sporuvi, the rangers that like to take people through the wilderness and ferry them, or
like a pathfinder kind of, or something.
Yeah, he was a pathwalker. He would walk them to one place to another. And they encountered a creature. He got hurt. They were pretty much opposites, but then opposites attract. They fell in love. Had my character, raised my character in the Stormlands, and then upon the birth of his little sister May, his mom needed to take the little sister back to the Elflands because she's from a family matriarchal house where all females need to be presented to the queen, etc. So he has been taught the ways of a Dimwalker, but because he's been raised in the Stormlands, he has a little bit of Ranger as well. The Ravenhold, Colgrim Ravenhold, his father, they have a big family. They own the lands around the lake west of the Copper Woods. South of the Iron Moors, pretty much that lake and that copse of trees is their land. And they know Bite, the person that owns this farm, and to keep themselves humble, they have come here to help with the harvest.
Cool. So you're a half elf, right?
Yes, Dyfir, yes. Or Dyfir, however it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's, let's see here, half elf Dyfir or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Dyfir. Cool. So half elf Dimwalker, and in this game the Dimwalkers are the priest, pretty much, right?
Yeah, priest / druid type characters, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And they're quite unique in this game in that it depends on which culture you come from, and they have very specific abilities. So since you're a half elf, you decided to choose the elf side of your character, right, to become a elf Dimwalker. So you kind of the gods of the elves, they left thousands of years ago, but the elves believe that the stars are their gods leaving, going away from Trudvang. So you kind of see patterns in the stars and kind of pray to that, and that's how you get your powers, right?
That is correct.
And you have a little bit of ranger as well from your father, the human side of you. So what do you look like?
He is, there's a picture here somewhere, but he is just pretty much the straight mix of elf and human. He has a charisma to where you can tell that he was touched by the elves. But he looks pretty Stormlandish with, that build because of being raised there, but he's still on a little bit of a slim side. He's always seen with a bow and a Vultri axe, taking some, he's pretty much amalgamation of both cultures.
Right. So do you have the elf?
He does have a slight goatee, trying to look more the part in Stormlanders, so people don't really give him an elf. Or
do you tell people that you're half elf? Do you have like the ears, the elf ears, or do you like cover them up?
Pretty. He grew up here, so it's pretty well known that that's what he is.
Yeah.
And who his family is.
All right, cool. So in Ejdland, all of Stormlands are kind of uncivilized, not like the Wildfolk in the north, but it's still quite uncivilized. And there are some places in Ejdland, like Saga City, that's the biggest city in the south, the biggest city in Ejdland. That's a big port. Or like Grim Village is a medium-sized port on the west side of the country. And these places are quite well-traveled, so there's quite a lot of like both other humans and elves and dwarfs even coming there. So I mean, elves are not super rare, but you're not very common either, especially not in the inlands like this. But since you're half elf, you're kind of fitting in there anyway, right? So cool, nice. And Siggi.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Siggi. I'm from New York. Yeah, and I've played role-playing games since college. Mostly played Dungeons and Dragons 5e. I'm really into Viking stuff, so this game's really cool to me.
Perfect.
And I'm going to be playing Valravn Haugspori, who has come to the farm of Jukashearth to recover from some injuries. And she's with her deaf and dumb uncle, who is paying the way through some hard work. She's a pale blonde Stormlander who has scarring around her eyes and a brand on the back of her head. The brand is the symbol of Tyrd, which any Stormlander would recognize as which is one of the gods. It is brand is pretty fresh, and she is kind of a thin and kind of sickly looking a little bit.
Right. So she's a human, right?
Yep, human Stormlander.
So she's actually
and the noticeable thing about them is that she has a seax, a knife, and Dagger, her uncle, has a shield which bear a stylized design of a raven flying over 9 waterfalls.
Right, and that's the heraldry of your clan, right?
Yep.
So in Stormlands in general, and also in Ejdland, the country is kind of built up around the clan system. So there's a lot of small clans, and they together, or small families, and they together become bigger clans. And then the 10 biggest clans, they in Ejdland at least, the clan head becomes a shield jarl. And those are the most powerful people in this country, the 10 most powerful people. And the 3 most powerful of those are the people leading the country pretty much. So there's 3 shield jarls leading the country. We have the guy in the south, in Saga City, called Wolfgard. Wolfgard Charot. He leads from the Saga City, and he pretty much owns the eastern part of Ejdland, all the way up to Patir in the northeast. If you look on the map. And then we have the second biggest shield jarl is his name is Jorin Entloft, and he rules from the massive fortress city of Trollmark Castle up in the northwest, and he pretty much owns all the west side of Ejdland, all the way down to Rim Coast in the southwest. And the third one, it's much smaller than the other ones, but because of his kind of isolated position, it's kind of he kind of holds a lot of power as well, and he's actually ruling from the eastern islands, with his main city being Clip, and his name is Rodur Fenlykte. So these are the 3 most powerful people in this area, and pretty much everybody knows about them. So I reckon that all of your characters knows this much at least. The farm that you're on, in the middle of the country, Jukashearth, is ruled by Kraltjan Bite. Kraltjan Bite of the house Bite. Kraltjan Bite is, and his clan is allied with another clan called House Lodabrot, which in turn supports Wolfgat in Saga. So they are part of Wolfgat's eastern kind of kingdom. So that's pretty much how much you know, I guess. But yeah, so you are Dimwalker, right, Siggi?
Yeah, Dimwalker, Vitner, Weaver, something. I mixed a bunch.
Right, so Dimwalker is the priest, Vitner Weaver is the wizards. So you kind of mixed between them, right?
It's apparent that she's a Dimwalker, not apparent that she's a Vitner Weaver.
Right, so maybe most people don't know that you're a Vitner. I mean, that's the thing in this country as well. The Vitner Weavers are very rare in Ejdland and in Stormlands in general. So if you're a Vitner Weaver, you don't really want to show people that. So that's something, if any of you have any Vitner powers, you don't really tell people about that. So be very careful when you use it. And also remember, in this game, when you're using a magic in this game, like Vitner, there will be a kind of negation in the vicinity of where you are. Which means that, for example, if you're doing a fire spell, it will get really cold somewhere close to you. If you're controlling the mind of an animal, somebody else around you will be controlled by an animal in turn. So it's like a balance all the time, right? So you kind of need to be careful with how you use magic, like Vitner. And for the Dimwalker side of things, that's also a little bit of a balance. If you use it too much in like a non-important way, like if it has nothing to do with the mission of your gods or in the kind of culture of your gods might actually get angry, like if you're misusing your Dimwalker abilities. So that's just something to think about when you're playing your characters. Okay, so Siggi's character has been kind of recuperating, and her uncle Dagr has been working in the farm to help him, and he seems pretty slow, and he doesn't talk much or at all. And even when the other characters try to interact with him, he mostly just ignores everybody. And you have seen Valravn, Siggi's character, coming out to the fields to talk with her uncle, and kind of going back together with uncle pretty much every day. So they seem very close. Okay, so Elendil. Who are you, Elendil, and what do you play?
Okay. My real name is Gregory Brown. I usually go by Greg. I live in Abilene, Texas, which is about 150 miles from any other major city. I am disabled. I used to work for my city. So, on to the character. I am playing Vesteinn. He has the title of the Abandoned. He has lived on this farm all of his life. He was a foundling. He's 2 meters tall, weighs 90 kilograms. He has black hair in his somewhat hirsute. He has yellow eyes and a black tail, and his eyes glow yellow, and his ears twitch, and his tail lashes when he becomes angry. You will have noticed that if I mentioned the archetype, it's warrior. You will have noticed he is a little slow mentally. Everybody will have been introduced to his kin, Agda, and whatever reaction that Agda has will be how I treat you.
Right.
Let's see. I posted a long version of the history. If anybody wants to read it, it's in Discord somewhere.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Otherwise, he's basically general manual labor around the farm, does heavy work. When Kraltjan, I'm probably butchering that, goes to town, I'm along to, he usually takes me along to help deal with the merchants if anything gets a little trouble.
Right. So you're a grey brute, right?
Yes, I am a grey brute.
So a grey brute is a mix between human and grey troll, right? Is that
Yes, that is correct.
Right. So you're much bigger than most humans, and you're also much uglier. You don't stand out super much. Like the token that we chose for you, this grey guy here, is kind of. It's not exactly how you look like. I would say you're not that ugly, and not that grey, but still, it's kind of close, I guess. And
well, it's the closest I could find.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't really have much other to choose from, right? So, but you're kind of a little bit slower, much stronger, much bigger. Do you have a tail?
Yeah, I believe the description on the character said that, or on the race said that they could have a tail.
Okay, so do you have one?
Yes, I do. It is a black tail.
All right, cool. What about your eyes? Most half trolls have yellow eyes, I guess.
Yes, I have yellow eyes, and they will glow when I get angry.
All right.
I have a little bit better than average night sight. Nothing superhuman, just I can see at kind of the top end of what would humanly be possible.
All right, cool. So the half troll and big fighter, right? You're a fighter.
Yes.
Right, and also a farmhand, of course.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So, Nirnie.
Yes, so my name is Nirnie, or Frans. I'm from Norrköping in Sweden, 28 years old. I have been role-playing Drakar Demoner, the Swedish version of this game, since I was 13 or something like that. So I'm quite to the world of Trudvang.
So you can help me out sometimes. When I don't know something, you can help me.
Not during the sessions, but if you got questions, you can ask.
Yeah, perfect.
And I'm playing the dwarf Greld Fairhair, the dwarven bard that's a twist of growing up, actually. Half and half persuaded the elders to let him go out on the big world of Trudvang to know about the culture and languages about all the other races and cultures. I say persuaded, but it was more like they was quite happy to get rid of him because he's a lazy bugger, and he seemed to like is reading, writing, and eating. He's a bit shorter than other dwarves, even for being a dwarf. 22 centimeters high, and weigh a bit over 60 kilos. So he's a really small dwarf. He's really young, and his beard isn't long for being a dwarf. Right. He takes a lot of care about his hair and the beard.
Right. Yeah, all the characters are starting out as young, kind of in the apprentice stage of their careers. So, yeah, all of these are very young, except Dagir, the NPC of the uncle of Valravn. So, Greld, what kind of instruments do you play? You're a bard, right? So, what kind of bard are you?
I'm actually I'm a drummer. But he's saying that he is playing the instrument, but he is actually more interested in writing and reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get my hand on books and parchments whenever I can.
All right. So you're not really in the right area of the world to get books because most people here can't even read. But we'll see.
No, but
We'll
I'm
see.
from the Troll Ridge Mountains, so I just came down, and I'm already. I see that he's probably been on the ground for about 2 months, and he have already learned the language of the humans quite good.
Right. So he's quite good at learning languages and stuff, right?
He's actually, you could almost call him a genius.
Cool.
In linguistic.
Awesome. So yeah. Yeah. What did you say, Nirnie?
No, I think I was done actually.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, the dwarves, the bards of the dwarves, they play drums like big boom 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 boom, and they like play on this kind of horns like very loud. So that's the bards are quite unusual in the dwarven underground kingdoms, but if there are any, they are like playing drums or big kind of I don't know what you call these kind of horns that they play. Do you remember, Nirnie?
Gåtlahorn, or it's big war horns made of bronze.
Right. Yeah, like a war horn. Cool. And we have Flynn. Welcome. Who are you?
Very happy to be here. Real quick to let you know, for whatever reason, my Mac is not letting me email things to you. I tried on Chrome and Safari. References, found it. It said no. Way to send my PC information to you on my 1.4.
No, don't worry about it.
Send it to me on Facebook. I'll shoot it to him.
Sorry?
Send it to me on Facebook and I'll send it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, we can figure that out. It's
okay,
not,
that's it. Good. Okay, so in Michigan, sometimes called Southern Canada. There we go. Very familiar with the water. 20 years, I was Air Force and Army. Teacher now. A little bit of construction on the side. Been gaming since 1980. I cut my milk teeth on AD&D, jumped over to Star Wars about 96, 97, and just was introduced to this about a week and a half ago. Very excited about the idea. Is Licklig?
Ricochet?
Mm-hmm.
You're showing everyone what you have on your mail, by the way.
I know. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Here you go. This is my email. Yeah. So that's awesome, Flynn. So what are you playing then? What's your character?
Okay, here we go. My PC is a human, albino. The picture of Prince Nuada from Hellboy's Golden Army. He's got a very, very similar look to that right there. He is a foundling. He was found by a pair or a family of... and so his first language, he was found on the map. If you look where it says Stormlands, river from where the S is on the Wild Heart.
Let me show that map.
His profession is black.
He's a what? I didn't catch the last part there.
He's a dweller.
Oh yeah, he's a dweller, right?
Okay, yeah, he's a dweller. Profession is blacksmithing with all that stuff.
All right, cool. So you can.
So his father also trained him in warrior.
And your character's name is Licklig, right?
Licklig, yes.
Do you know what it means in Swedish?
It should mean blessed. That's what my Google translator said.
Kind of. We would more translate it to lucky or happy. Maybe happy. So that's kind of like blessed, right?
In my history that I sent to you, I explain why my dwarven parents have no other children. Their last name Dwarvenson. They were outcast, but not because of cowardice or bad things. will do that. That's why my father is not working under the mountain anymore. He is out in the sun every day with the humans. So I'm bilingual. One on my charisma because of my Inuism, but also my accent is heavy accent.
Are you half dwarf?
My
No, he was
by
raised by
dwarves.
Oh, okay, you were okay.
Raised by dwarves. Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah.
And I'm currently tied to Clan Ravenhold.
Okay, so you're from the same
I'm working
clan
under.
as who's Clan Ravenhold again? Oh, that's your Brian, huh?
With Jorin. With Jorin.
Right. Okay.
And I ended up on the farm because, and it all depends. The last time we talked, I didn't get a chance to get into with the equipment. A buckboard for a traveling blacksmith. I can go from farm to farm. Oftentimes, that's how blacksmiths did their trade because the peasants don't always know where the blacksmith is. Go a route, and now you go around and hit all the farms. That's what I'm doing right now.
Right, so you're there.
It's harvest season right now, so you're probably helping maintain the farm equipment.
Right, yeah. You'll maintain the equipment and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, whatever they need.
So yeah, Flynn is kind of a recent addition here. We didn't really have time to go through all of his character, and since we had problems with getting the character to the email and stuff as well. So, but what kind of weapons and stuff do you consider yourself having with you?
Let's see. I've got a single battle axe. Question: I was looking at it. I axe was smaller than a battle axe, but whatever it is, one hand, heavy, yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I wanted to talk to with armor.
So one hand.
Have a sheet of.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys have very basic gear right now. Most of these people have only like a CX dagger. But you could have like are you doing heavy one-hand weapons, you said?
I also have that training, but whether I have those or not, that's up to you.
Yeah, so maybe, yeah, like Brian is showing here now, right? Actually, I can also show it on the screen. Let's see here. We want to check out the Game Masters one in the end here. Let's see.
This is the build putter, and the top one's the bard. My character's got the lower one. Okay,
cool. Let's see. I'm just gonna find it. Equipment. This is too far. Still too far.
Should have told you the page number. Sorry.
It's okay.
70, 71.
70 what?
70.
Cool. Oh, here. Okay, here. One-handed light weapons. So, Flynn, you have a CX dagger, and you have also a Barda axe.
Okay.
The Barda axe is a battle axe. Yeah, you have a Barda axe. So add them to your sheet, and you don't have any armor. You have average clothes, like average clothes, and yeah, and you have like a small camp kit. You have a ordinary craft kit, and you have like small kits of everything you need. Like if you know how to hunt or fish, you have a small of those, and yeah, whatever you have skills in, you have a small, except for the crafting one, which is a big one, and maybe you also have some other stuff like for blacksmithing stuff. But most stuff is already on the farm. There's a small workshop where you set up, and you're helping the thralls and the farmhands and the people living there maintain their equipment and stuff. Especially now for the harvest is very important.
Right.
So, yeah, cool. That's everyone. We finally managed to get through the introductions. So, oh, you painted yourself?
Yeah, kind of.
Beautiful, Nirnie. So like I said, you're all on Jukashearth farm, owned and run by Kraltjan Bite, who is about 45-year-old Stormlander, still quite strong, and most of his hair is still red, but he has a little bit of gray at the edges and stuff. He's quite friendly, but kind of harsh when it comes to work, because he expects you to do your work well and be quick about it. But he's quite fair, you'd say. He's not a big authority in this area, but he's connected with bigger authorities, like his House of Bite, the clan that is in, is under the House of Lodabrot, which supports one of the 3 major shield jarls. So he has quite a nice connection there, but he's not very powerful himself. The farm is not very big. It's like one long house, an outhouse, a few outhouses, a few shacks for the thralls to live in. The thralls are kind of like in this part of the world, they hold thralls like slaves, right? Some of them might earn some money and be able to buy themselves free in the end, but most in Ejdland, most of the thralls are just for life, and you get born into thralldom pretty much. And you guys don't really talk with the thralls at all. There's like about maybe five men and 4 women and a few children, and he also have a small herd. A herd is kind of like a personal bodyguard in this part of the world, and there's like about 5 people as well. And Kraltjan himself and his family, he has his wife Elsa, a very friendly, rosy-cheeked, big lady, and their oldest son that you've been talking with a few times as well. His name is Ut Bite. So those are the people you know: Kraltjan, Elsa, and Ut. The herd and the thralls. Actually, I have a picture, so let's jump to the next slide here. Can you see the next one?
Oh.
So this is just a picture I found on the internet. This is kind of what it looks like. Just the longhouse and the barn. And they have a little bit of a small stone hedge, I guess. And then the farms are all around it. There's one special feature, I guess, in this area, and there's a big tree behind the longhouse, which looks very old. And the tree kind of, the bark kind of looks a little bit coppery. And if you ever been around the copper woods in the south, you can recognize this tree as a copper oak. This is a quite rare tree, actually. So I don't know. Does anybody have like a nature knowledge or anything like that? Underneath
A little bit, but not from this area.
Yeah, okay, so you don't have from this area. But
I can check. Wait. No, I don't.
Like it could be land knowledge, or it could be like nature knowledge under the wilderness.
Just geography and wilderness.
Or maybe terrain experience, forest, for example. Anybody have something like that?
Everyone who's from the Stormland has land knowledge Stormland.
So if you want, you can roll to see if you know anything more about this tree, and we can do that in the chat. Does anybody know how to roll in the chat?
Use /R and then what you're rolling. I think in this system, because of how skill values work, you're only ever going to use like a D20 or a D10.
Right.
You mind if we roll real dice?
You could, but
Demonstration.
then nobody can see what you're rolling, I guess. But yeah, I trust you guys, I think. So if you really want to roll your real dice, that's fine. But otherwise, I will just write a little bit of a thing here. So this is how you roll. If you copy the thing in the parentheses there, that's how you roll an exploding die. This is quite common in this game, right? Like a D10 damage, and then you have an exploding die. It's usually 10 or 9 to 10 or 8 to 10. So in this case that I posted here, that's an exploding die from 8 to 10. But we can figure that out later. But you pretty much just write roll and a d20. That's okay, Brian. Don't worry about it. So like you can do this way, and then you need to roll it like that. So
Am I not seeing what you're doing here?
if you click on the chat bar, chat tab on the right side, right top, instead of looking at your journal or anything, you just click the chat symbol up in the top right.
Okay.
And that's where we can roll them. So you just write /R or /roll, and then you just write it like 1d20, 1d10, and so on, right? So to do a skill check in this game, it's a roll under system, right? So you have your skill, wilderness, for example, and you add all these points together, like wilderness, maybe you have 5 in wilderness base skill, and then you have the discipline, and you have speciality as well. You add all of those points together, and then you need to roll under that with a d20. So does anybody have a nature knowledge? The discipline on the wilderness?
I have the discipline, not the special.
I have land knowledge of here,
Mm-hmm.
and geography, of course.
Okay, so Brian, maybe you can start then just to give us a kind of an example. So what's your total value in the land knowledge if you add the
7.
Okay, so try to roll on the 7 with a +5. So
13.
yeah,
Wait, no, 12.
12. Yeah, under 12.
I majored in math.
1d10. Oh, here we go. Yes.
Oh, 1d20
Oh, I fall.
and under 12.
1d20.
Yes.
All right. So what you know about this, the copper oaks are a quite rare breed of trees, actually. There are some of them in the copper woods, and they are not usually this far north. There might be some in the wild heart forest as well. That's even further north, but nobody really goes in there. And it's said that this tree can have some magical, not abilities, but like magical properties. So, for example, have you heard that maybe Vitner weavers will use parts of the trees, like branches and stuff, to make wands or staffs, and that might hold some kind of magical potency then. So that's kind of what you know about it.
He thinks of his bow, because his bow, when it's unstrung, acts as his Dimwalker staff, and whether or not it may have been made from that wood, he's unsure. So
right. So of course it's quite valuable. So you reckon that the Kraltjan, the owner of the farm, wouldn't be very happy if you did anything to the tree. But if you know about this kind of stuff, it's kind of tempting to maybe go and take a piece of it or something. Okay.
We're looking at a tree.
There's a tree if you look on the right part of the picture there. Yeah,
This one?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly that one. So that's.
Is there fallen leaves or branches from it, or?
It kind of looks like an oak, and this time of year it's like end of summer harvest season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much in full bloom still. But yeah, it's like a big oak, but look a little bit like bronze or copper.
Right,
the
no
color.
droppings, no like acorns or anything like that.
There are some acorns and leaves and stuff, of course. If you want to pick that up, that's fine.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
you pick up a few if you want to.
Yeah.
You can add it to your sheet. So you guys just finished the harvest. This is your last day of the harvest, and it's in the evening, and after a long and sweaty day of working, you finally got the last part of the harvest in, and you know that tonight, there's a small feast to celebrate that the harvest is over, and this is also the day when you will get your salary finally, as you've been looking forward to. Money in this game is usually not coins. Coins are not that common. It's more common to have like bands of silver or bronze, like an arm wristband or maybe around the neck. And then when you want to pay something, you cut off a piece of it that corresponds with the amount that you want to pay, right? So, and you reckon you will get about 10 silver. You get about 1 silver per day, so you've been here for 10 or more days. So you're all making your way back towards the farm, and when you come there, you see the lights from the hearth, and the smell of food is coming out of the longhouse. Very inviting. In Ejdland, usually at the entrance to a house, there is these 2 poles, and they kind of represent the standing of the family. If it's some rare wood and very nicely carved, it means a higher standing. So the poles at the entrance to this family house, the longhouse, are quite simple, beautifully carved. It's quite important to try to have a unique carving kind of for each family, so they can go very far away from their farm to go to a city to get a wood carver to make a unique and special kind of pole for them. So yeah, you're all outside the longhouse. What do you want to do?
I want to go in.
Yeah, right.
I guess that's.
Yeah, you're all quite hungry, so you'll be looking forward to this feast. As you walk in, the son, Kraltjan's son, Bite, hands everybody their salary for the harvest. So you all get 10 silver. You can add 10 silver to your sheet. Utbite is kind of the same age as you guys, around 20. Just like his father, he has red hair, and he doesn't look very strong. He's kind of from experience, by being here for a few days, you know that he's actually quite lazy. He doesn't help much with the harvest and stuff. He prefers having the thralls and the farmhands like you guys.
My own heart.
Sorry?
Person of my own heart.
Yeah. But he's nice enough, you reckon. And especially after handing you 10 silver, you like him even better. When you come in, you get greeted by a wall of heat and inviting smells from the longhouse. The longhouse is pretty much one big room. Around the sides of the wall, there's a few different like shields hanging on the wall, and you know that these shields are the equipment for the herd. And you see all the herdmen. There's 5 herdmen in this farm, which is quite a lot for a small farm like this. But you reckon he's doing quite well for himself, Kraltjan. So they are sitting there at one of the benches, eating and laughing and drinking. And you see almost everyone is here already. You guys are kind of the last ones to arrive. And at the end of the big table, the big long table, sits Kraltjan. And when he sees you guys arrive, he kind of motions to you to approach him.
Question: do I get more silver because I have dagger?
Since you yourself didn't do much, since you've been recuperating, you're lucky to even get 10 silver. Don't try it.
I should actually not get.
High or the stools? I'm really high, or can I sit down without problem?
If I lift you up, you can.
Should I actually get silver since I'm actually recuperating?
It wasn't that bad. You've been here for longer than this.
Okay.
So you all get 10 silver. Don't worry. You guys really don't like money, huh?
I like money.
I mean, Alpakka.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, Alpakka. You can give your silver to Valravn if you want. I mean, that's up to you. I wouldn't do that though, since Valravn is actually a little bit nicer than you guys in status. You might not know about it, perhaps, but you can kind of tell that Valravn's clothes were nicer at some point. They look kind of average now, but at some point they were pretty nice, and there's some intricate like stitching and stuff on it, and a little bit more colorful than you guys' clothes, but it's kind of washed out and well used by now. So you don't really know what's going on there. I don't know how much she's told you guys about her, where she comes from. So do you guys approach Kraltjan?
I will.
No doubt.
You don't? You sit down?
I approach.
Okay, you approach. So yeah, all of you
Moving
approach.
like I'm tired.
So when you approach, he gives you a big smile, and he says, "Let's see. So good work, everybody. I'm happy to have had you here. You really helped me a lot this year. I'm hoping you would come back and help me with the harvest again. So where are you guys heading next now after the harvest is finished?" He asks you.
I don't have a plan yet. I'm planning on north, or maybe south.
Towards the copper woods, you mean?
Yeah, I want to see those copper bright trees that everyone talks about.
Right.
Join me as I head back to the Iron Moors for my family's holdings.
Oh, Iron Moors, the big swamp in the southwest. You live over there?
Yes, Clan Ravenhold. Goldgrim is my father.
I think I heard something about you have a castle on the edge of the lake there. Am I right?
A castle
If you
floating
would
on
call
the
it a
swamp?
castle.
Yeah, a small castle, I believe. Oh, okay, that's nice. That you're going south. It seems like most of you are going south. Are you going past the Grim Village on the coast, on the west coast, perhaps?
Maybe I should take a trip over there.
I've never been to the coast.
It's quite nice this time of year here. But actually, I wanted to ask you something now when you're all here together. I have something I need done, but I don't really have the manpower to do it. The thing is, I know you guys are busy. You want to move on, and I have full understanding for that. But you see, I have some stuff I need delivered to my cousin's farm in the north. My cousin Magne. You see, there's a thing meeting in this country. This is out of character, by the way. In this country, usually the leaders of the country, the shield jarls, meet in a assembly called a thing. It's kind of like a democratic meet up with all the main powers in the area, and they kind of decide on all the rules and all the different things happening. And you all know that there's going to be a thing in about 10 days from now. Outside of Grim Village, actually, on the west coast. And since House Bite supports House Lodabrot, who in turn supports Shield Girl Wolfgat in Saga, you know that they need to go there with their full force to support their Shield Girl. In this society, each grown person has one vote. It doesn't matter what your standing is. Everybody, men and women, except for the thralls, have a vote in the thing. So it's important to go there with your full force of hirdmen and family members and stuff like that to be able to get your voice heard. So Kraltjan said, my hird is getting ready to move to the thing. and they need to go there ahead of time to support House Ludabrot in this thing. So I don't really have the men to spare for this shipment, but it needs to be done right now. It's the tax for our shield jarl for the year, and I need it delivered to Magnus Ward so he can deliver it to House Ludabrot, and they can in turn deliver it to Wolfgat. So would you guys be willing to take a detour? It takes about 2 days up to my cousin's farm, Bearfield. It's called Bearfield, by the way.
You need a Sporuvi. You need a ranger to guide you.
It's quite an easy trip. It's just following the road for 2 days. It's just, he says he doesn't have the men to spare. The hired men are going to the thing, and also he says Magnus Hird is actually coming here to meet up with my Hird and go to the thing together. They should be here any day actually, and we're gonna have a small feast for them. So I can't really send any thralls with the wagon either. I need them all here to prepare for this feast and for Magnus Hird to arrive. So that's kind of why I need to ask you guys if you were willing. Of course, I will pay you. I will pay you each another 3 silver if you agree to help me out with this. I will be in your debt, he says.
Is it possible to... is it possible to roll for speech check about getting higher paid?
You wanna get higher paid more?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can do like a knowledge, language, maybe silver tongue. But I want you to tell me what you tell him in that case.
Yeah, since we actually all are going southbound and this is going to be a detour for us, so I'm wondering, is it more worth for me to just go north to help your cousin?
Well, like I said, I'll be willing to pay you each another 3 silver. And you also know that as a farmhand, you earn about 1 silver per day. And this is a 2-day trip, so you would actually get 1 silver extra. More than
2 days.
Can I?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Can I roll for just not for asking for more money, but to see if it's a reasonable pay for this job?
Yeah.
If he rips me off.
Maybe you can do a care roll for tradesman, for peasant, or trader, or something on there, to see if you know what the pay is.
Yes, but my character thinks that he knows this without problem, so he's going to.
Yeah, like when you arrived at the farm here, you were pretty much aware that you would get 1 silver per day. So getting 3 silver for 2 days, it's a little bit above average.
But Valravn is gonna interject and like, it is 2 days of travel there, and it is 2 days back, and that is. I do not think that 3 silver each person is enough.
Okay, do a silver tongue check then.
I don't have any points in silver tongue.
Well, you have points in language.
So I just use the disciplines DC language.
Right, exactly. Plus knowledge and language.
Okay, that is. I rolled an 18, and that was an SV of 6.
Oh,
Flynn,
so
Flynn has a question.
Yeah, sorry, Flynn. What's up?
Does this farm have an extra wagon, whether it's a 2-wheel, 4-wheel? Do they have an extra wagon? Bringing the only wagon he has, or do we have to go up and do we have to come right back here again?
He has like 2 wagons.
We can go wherever we want.
You know he has 2 wagons, but the thing is, the job is to only go there. What you do after that is up to you.
He's his cousin, so we could just leave the cart at that place. I don't think his cousin gonna rob him.
Yeah, you don't have a responsibility for the cart when you arrive.
So I roll
Well,
1d.
okay, so that's good.
All right.
So I
My
roll
question
one-
is this then.
Yeah.
Going one way, could I accept the cart and the oxen as payment? Silver.
A
Or
cart.
when it comes back.
So he will probably. You reckon he will give you the money ahead of time? He will give it to you right now, and because he knows you quite well after more than 10 days of working together, so he trusts you guys to actually do what you say you're gonna do. So he's gonna give you 3 silver right now if you accept this mission. Alpakka, did you want to roll to see if you could get some more money?
Yeah, is that this d20 plus 4, right? Because I only have 1 in foreign tongue.
Do you have silver tongue at all? No.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, you take your knowledge plus your language, and since you don't have silver tongue, that's all you get.
Yeah, it won't be 20 plus 4.
Plus 4. What do you get plus 4 from?
Or just
Remember,
d20 then.
the skill value, the SV, is what you need to roll under.
Okay, we need to roll under that.
Yeah, and on the sheet that I made, you just have to look in the column. It's all added up already.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
So what do you have there?
So
4.
Yeah, so you need to hit under 4
Yep.
with a d20.
Then is the
Let's roll it in the chat if you can. That's a fumble. He looks at you and said, "Are you really the right one to ask for more money after what we did for you? You came here without anything, and we took you in, and we took care of you. You were hurt. We healed you. My wife Elsa, my dear darling wife, she took care of you for many days before you were able to join for the harvest. So maybe you should be paid less than 3. And you feel kind of like you kind of owe them this. So you actually you feel like you should accept 2 silver, and that would be enough for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna accept 1 silver instead of because of the fumble. You know what? I just take 10 copper.
Yeah. So all of you are gonna get 3 silver except Alpakka's gonna get 2 silver. So he said, so I need an answer. I need this delivered as soon as possible. So would you guys be willing to take a detour and help me out with this?
Yes.
I will do whatever you ask, Father.
Right.
See, no problem for not doing it.
I require no compensation.
Right. Elendil's character is, of course, kind of an adoptive son of his. So he says, Vesteinn, I would be very happy if you would accompany these nice people. With your skills, they will be safe on the road, I'm sure. And it's time for you to go out in the world and look around by yourself. Don't you think so?
As you wish, Father. I will do my best.
Perfect. So if you accept the mission, the feast will continue, and you can decide what you want to do next. You're gonna have this feast for a few hours, and all of the other farmhands and even the thralls are there eating, and his hird is there, his family is there. So yeah, it's up to you. What do you want to do?
Valravn will pull aside Jorin and say, "You are heading to your home in Ravenhold, right?"
Well, not unless I accept this mission.
Perhaps after this mission, I can accompany you. Dagger and I. We have no other real goals in mind. So, going to a court of one who owns quite a bit of land would be beneficial to us.
Yes, and the odd heraldry you have harkens to some raven heritage that we have as well. So heraldry.
Do you want to see if you know anything about Valravn's heraldry and where she's from?
Yeah.
So let's see, what would we do then? It would be knowledge, custom, and law.
I only know that for elves, so it's going to be.
Do you have knowledge?
5, knowledge 5, right?
Yeah, so you don't really know much about this area. So try that. Yeah, do a D20 and.
I should. I was raised here, but.
That's the thing, when you start playing, you realize, oh, actually, this would be useful, or this. So that's just how this game works, and you're gonna get points to add after the adventure. So don't worry about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Did you just roll a 20 on this one as well?
The food and meat are making us crazy, right?
So you reckon that he's from the wildlands up in the northeast of Stormlands? That's super far away from here. You heard that there's some kind of clan living up there with a raven as a heraldry. So that's what you think. You think he's from the wildlands up in the northeast. You don't think he's from Ejdland at all.
Strange, because she's very blonde.
Yeah. You don't really get it together like how that would work, but yeah, it's weird. I'm trying to get you guys' video to work. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So yeah, that's what you think anyway. So what else do you want to do? What else, the rest of you, what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna. Is the sun is set already?
Yeah, it's getting darker. It's already
getting
darker.
See if the stars are shining yet, and contemplate on a good omen for this mission.
All right. Do you have any kind of Dimwalker ability in mind?
Yes, on animal mind.
Animal mind?
Yeah.
So what does that do?
I'm just looking to do just a religion, pretty much. I'm not going to can't invoke any real.
You just want to kind of get just look up and kind of pray, you could say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. You go out and you sit down beneath the massive oak, and you look up at the stars, and you will feel very much at peace.
What time of day is it again? Has the sun gone down yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It pretty much just went down. It's that's what kind of why you're done for the day. That's usually how it goes. You work until sunset, pretty much. So it's dark outside now. The stars are out. It's a very beautiful evening. It's in the end of summer, so already the chilly air from the northern wildlands is rolling down across the Stormlands by now. Especially now in the evenings and the nights, it's getting a little bit chillier. But it still feels very comfortable, especially after a hard day's work, to sit out there underneath the copper oak and enjoying the presence of your gods in the stars. So what about the rest of you? What do you do?
Question.
I will trying to be playing chess with someone.
Chess? Do you have
play chess with you?
So, do you have a game board yourself?
No, I expect that there is a family one, and that's what I will be using.
All right. So there's a few people in the corner playing dice. But yeah, no chess really. But yeah, if you want to play some dice, you can do that.
Sure, I'll try that.
Okay, so there's
a little bit of gambling.
Yeah, there's three of the herdmen are sitting in the corner now playing some dice, and they seem to be enjoying themselves and drinking mead and beer over there. So they are very happy to have you join them. They always enjoy having another person to give them some more money. So
yeah, because I don't have gambling or any skill in it. I just like it.
Well, that's fine. So let's do a roll then. A gambling roll. Let's see here. We have where is it? Where's the gambling stuff? Oh.
on the second page of the character sheet.
Oh, entertainment, yeah. So let's do an entertainment roll with gambling. You didn't have anything, right?
No, I have a basic 1 in entertainment.
Okay.
So
you reckon that these guys have a little bit more of a knowledge in gambling, but you can try. And how should we do this? Maybe see who rolls highest or something. So roll a d10 and add your entertainment skill value. So just write /roll and then space and 1d10 in the chat.
Oh, okay.
And then you have 1, right? So you can add 1 as well.
Wow!
Good work, Elendil. So you got 2. Let's see if he the first guy what he gets. 1d10, and he actually has a skill value of. Can you do like plus? You can, right? Plus, he has actually a skill value of 5. So let's see. He gets. So he gets a 7, and the second guy is not as good. 1d10. He's only a skill value of 3. What he gets. Oh, 13. So the second herdman is very happy taking your money. We didn't really say how much you were betting now, but I'm guessing you bet like 5 coppers or something. So you just lost 5 coppers. You want to try again?
This game seems like fun. I want to join.
You want to join too? Okay. So the pot is.
Can we just quick though? Flynn Licklig has been trying to ask a question, and he keeps getting overpowered by.
Oh, sorry, I don't see Flynn's video right now, so I can't see him gesturing to us.
He's typed something. He's wanting to know: are there any axe handle sized dead branches on the copper oak? Even something that could be a knife handle.
Yeah. If you're looking outside there, and sorry, Flynn, by the way, I didn't mean to overlook you. It's just I haven't read the chat. But if you look underneath the copper oak, yeah, definitely there are some branches there, but not many. Let's do an finding and spotting look. So that's shadow arts, finding and spotting if you have that. And you get a plus 10 on it.
Die.
So you're rolling.
D20, right?
Yeah. So what do you have in it? What's your skill value?
Nothing at all. But it was daytime.
Okay, well you got a plus 10 on that. So you found a knife handle sized piece of copper oak you can take. You can put it on your sheet if you want. But it doesn't seem to be a lot of extra. I mean, this wood seemed to be quite strong. So it's not very common for pieces of it to fall off. But you were lucky this time and you found some. All right. So anybody else? Yeah, well, you're welcome. Anybody else want to do something between now and rolling some more gambling? Anybody wants to do something else?
While I'm outside, I'm going to do some stargazing.
All right.
To get some extra divinity points for the journey.
Okay, so how does that work? I haven't read up on the elves so much.
Well, basically, I just spend time doing it.
How much time do you need to spend?
I'm just going to do like an hour just to get an extra point.
Okay.
And based on the conditions, the multipliers applied to divinity points gained over time. If I'm assuming I can see the stars, so it should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a condition to the multiplier of it. If it's starry, partially starry, and full moon, that type of stuff. Just need to know that because that'll affect the amount that I get. So if it's a nice, clear, starry sky, then I'm going to get times 2 divinity points for an hour. So I get 2 points as long as I'm not disturbed.
So it's September now, pretty much. Middle of September, like the 8th. It's a very clear sky. and there's a light air breeze. Let's see. I actually have a table here. But yeah, it's very clear. Very clear. It doesn't say anything about this moon, but let's say it's like half moon pretty much right now.
Okay, so it's a star. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite nice actually. Very clear. You can see very easily.
Nice.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, add some temporary divinity points there.
Yeah, they disappeared one per day, so.
Perfect.
Val is going to drink pretty heavily and try to feed her raven, her caged raven.
Right. You have your caged raven with you.
Yes.
So do you want to try to feed her something? Well, of course she will eat something if you give her something, some piece of small meat or something.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I think that I'm actually going to go out and see what that looking human was doing with the stars.
Okay. You go out and disturb Jorin a little bit. I'm sure Jorin is very happy about that.
Yeah, there was the points I just tried to divine.
Try to be discreet though, and I'm quite small, so I can't go out and stand there for a minute just looking what he's doing before I ask that.
You get the feeling that at least he doesn't want you to play on your drums right now. He seems quite concentrated. Actually, you feel like you should probably not disturb him at this point. He seems to be deep in his thoughts.
Most people doesn't want me to talk, but I'm talking anyway, so...
Great. So Siggi, you can roll right now for taming if you want. So what's your skill value in animal friend?
I have a 7.
All right. So good luck. What's going on with the rolls? That's
This
like
would be good, really good if this was a rollover system.
Right? Yeah, that would be perfect. But you fumbled, so it's gonna take you another extra week. It's gonna take you 6 weeks now to tame this bird, and this is So you can roll one next week again. So keep track of the days, by the way, guys. So this is the 8th of September, day 1. So I also keep track here. So let's go to the gambling again. So who is doing the gambling? Alpakka?
I'm in for gambling. I want to gamble my 10, not silver, but bronze.
Copper, yeah.
Yeah, copper.
Yeah, 8th of September is right. So was anybody else gambling?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Still.
Who's that? Sorry. Flynn?
Elendil.
Elendil. Oh, sorry. I can't see who's talking. So okay. So let's roll the gambling then. Do you have anything in gambling, Alpakka?
Nope.
So you have 1 in gambling then. So just roll a d10 plus 1.
D10 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
D10 plus 1. Roll.
Okay. And Elendil, you do the same.
Why did I get that now?
Okay. I'm pretty sure they can't lose against you guys because they are pretty good at this. Plus, the first guy had +5, so good luck beating that. Okay, so he pretty much won your copper. You feel these guys are a little bit too good at this for your sake.
Yeah.
So let's see, and also Elendil. Okay, so if nobody else want to do anything specific, the feast continues for another 2 hours. So Brian, if you want to check the stars, you've done that for about 3 hours now.
Okay.
And and then most people are starting to trickle off and go to bed and stuff. You guys are all sleeping in the hayloft together in the barn on the second floor. Very comfortable. Not like a feather mattress that some of you are used to, but you're quite happy anyway. And you got your money, you got a little bit drunk, and life is looking pretty good. So
Val, being the only girl, is going to try to get a room in the actual house.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and since you've been paying off your stay there and like recuperating, you have a small room that you can sleep in with other women actually. So that's in the longhouse. So you wake up pretty early. You get woken up by one of the thralls, one of the no-name thralls. I'm not going to name them, so don't ask for their name.
Nameless.
Yeah, nameless thralls. There's a lot of those. And the thralls have been preparing the cart for you. Horse-drawn cart. There's 2 horses. I'm not going to name those either. They don't have names either, so don't ask. And the weather today, so far, is this is the 9th of September. A little bit cloudy. No wind at all. Very calm. So it's a perfect day for travel. So you set out, I guess. So how do you travel? Do you want to follow the road or?
Yeah, we're to follow the road. He said it was just 2 on the road. So
yeah. Is anybody riding on the cart? Yeah. Okay. Elendil, that's
drive the cart.
Who is driving the cart?
Flynn, you want to drive the cart?
I don't have to, but I can.
I didn't put points into it.
Yeah, you don't need points to drive it normally. It's just when you do like special kind of driving things, then you might need some skill points in it. But there's like space for 2 or 3 people on the cart itself. You can also sit on the back of the cart if you want. You can actually all fit on the cart if you want. But you also reckon that the horses might get tired quickly if you do that.
And we're taking like a chest of something, right?
There's a lot of stuff on the back. There's like some barrels, and most of it is just grain from the harvest. This is the tax to the Childral Wolfgut. So, it's just grain. But you reckon it's just grain at least.
I will walk beside the cart.
All right.
yeah, as am I.
Okay.
Probably opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
We probably try to walk beside the cart at first, but after maybe 15 minutes or half an hour, I'm just trying to have to running to actually get there fast enough. So I just jump up at the cart and sit down there, entirely exhausted from running.
Val's gonna actually ride in the cart, or on the front of the cart, something like that. Dagger is gonna, if there's space on the cart, he'll take it. Otherwise, he'll just walk alongside.
Right. Yeah, that's right. You have Dagger as well. So, the first day now, you're following this winding road.
Can I say before we start walking?
You got paid, right?
Yeah, you got the 10 silver and you got the 3 silver as well.
Yeah.
Well, except Alpakka. They got 2.
Before we start walking, I want to. How many days have we working? 2 days, right? Yeah. So I actually want to.
You can alternate a little bit if you want.
Yeah. I want to do the traceless Vitner before we leave the farm.
Okay, so what's this?
That is Vitner that make the traces after the wagon disappear for 1 hour.
Okay, so
for if there is anyone trying to steal from us on the way.
Okay, so do that. How much does it cost, and what do you need to roll? And what kind of are you doing it like in your mind, or do you do it with gestures? Or
I do it with gestures.
Okay.
That is +9 +4 SV there.
And then also, it's a level 1 or level 2 spell?
It's a level 2 spell.
So that means it's -2 on the skill roll, I believe. Or -3. Maybe you know yourself.
Let me see. Roar, traceless. This is a cost a modifier -4, yeah.
Note that traceless, I think it only affects one person.
No, it enhances the person around, causing tracks and evidence they leave behind. So if I'm actually sitting on the wagon.
Oh, so it kind of counts like the wagon then.
Yeah, because it's standing, enhance the person around, causing tracks and evidence they leave behind.
Which page in the book is done?
103 or 104 actually.
Let's see.
Because it has a level of power that makes it affect an extra being.
Right. Yeah, the spell creates an energy that follows the enchanted person around. So yeah, do you want to add in the levels of power to it?
If you're using the 1.4 version of the sheet, it'll actually tell you how those get discounted based on what kind of Vitner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're great. You're doing Grey Vitner, right?
Yeah, I'm Grey Vitning.
Okay. So yeah, do you want to add some extra powers to it?
I actually want to try to increase it to 4. Cost 4. Increase the duration by 1 day.
Okay, sure. So that will be a total of 8 points cost.
Yeah, so it's -8 to roll. Or
yeah,
no,
so
it's just the -4 to the roll. The levels of power don't reduce that; they just cost more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But also remember that if you're on the cart, it will affect the cart, but it won't affect the people walking next to it.
No, but that's the whole point. To affect the cart, because
okay, sure.
Who cares about 4 people walking around it?
So just roll a d20 then.
Yep.
And what's your SV in the base SV?
9 plus 4.
13, and then -4, so 9.
9.
So you need to hit on the 9 to do it.
Flynn is writing in the chat. Jeez.
Oh, fatal failure time.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with the dice in here? Like, how many fatal failures did we get so far? Like 5 or something?
Yeah, I think it's just how chance works. Random.
So fatal failure, that means a fatal failure roll on the on this
it wasn't fatal,
tablet.
it was 16.
No. You got a 20 -4.
Oh.
Okay.
Actually, it should not be -4.
Okay, so you're doing Dimwalker. I mean, you're doing Grey Vitner.
Yeah.
So roll a d10 and add 8.
What page is it on?
Page 84.
+8 or -8?
Oh, also to note, this is a 9 to 10 open roll. So here, I'm gonna give you what you.
Yeah.
So D10 plus 8, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Rolling.
I hope you know. Okay, so that's good. You didn't get a 10 at least. So 16. So let's see. 16. Well, nothing happens. Nothing special happens, but the rest of you kind of notice how behind, like on the wagon, Alpakka's character, what's your name again? Waldhelm. Waldhelm is starting to gesture a little bit to himself, like he's kind of looks like something wrong with him almost. And then he's like looking back behind you guys, and you kind of see how the tracks behind the wagon gets deeper than before. So you don't really get what happened. They got deeper than before, so there's even deeper tracks behind the wagon right now. And you kind of see how it looks like. What's your character again? Waldhelm. It looks like Waldhelm gets like a small force feedback effect into his body. Just like going back a little bit and like look a little bit groggy. And he like shakes his head and then he seems to be back again. Something happened. You don't really know what.
There's something wrong with you, lad. Are you crippling or something?
I don't know. I'm just trying out something.
Might you be an entertainer? In gold for entertaining people? Waving around with your hands like that. With that.
I'm trying out something I learned from my mother.
Oh, she thought you wrong, it seems.
It didn't work. At all.
Yeah, it didn't, huh? So let's see, Siggi is gone, huh? But anyway, you follow the winding road between the hills. On the east side, on the right side of the path, is a pretty leafy, like a leafy forest. It's kind of covering most of the landscape on the east side of the road. A lot of big oaks and stuff over there. And on the west side, it's like small hills with a few pieces of ash, like ash grows, spotting the landscape, and some meadows covered with the black heather. So black heather is kind of grass. But it's quite common in this area, so it's nothing special that you reckon. About the middle of the day, the sun is in its highest position. You see some pillars of smoke in the distance, and when you cross the hill that you're going over, you see a massive farmstead in the distance on a side road. That's not the road you're taking, but there's a massive farm over there. Does anybody want to know what it is?
The farm?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to know what whose farm it is, you need to do the land knowledge Stormlands to see that. So
I don't have any land knowledge for that.
Yeah, so if you're from the Stormlands, you have that automatically for free. Are you kidding?
I will.
No idea.
Flynn, you got a 20? You never heard of this place before? Anybody else have Stormland knowledge, land knowledge?
Yes, I do, and I miss it by.
Jeez, holy goodness.
Double.
What's going on?
It must be something. Something must be wrong.
What are you writing when you're trying to roll?
You write /R space and then 1d20.
Okay, yep.
Oh my god, what the hell is going on? So,
Hey, we're
Siggi,
new to the area, that's all.
yeah, Siggi, we need you. They are rolling 20s again. So there's a big, massive farmstead in the distance ahead of you, and some people want to know who's the owner. So you need to roll land knowledge for the Stormlands.
Okay.
So please don't roll a 20. We got two
I
20s.
got all under 7.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So did anybody make it?
I won't try.
Okay, go for it.
I want to try to just
So what's
make a
your?
wild guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you have knowledge, the base skill, that's also counted to this. So you can still make it, but
I have just the base skill.
how much?
That's land knowledge, right? I have 1 Wildfolk, 7.
Oh, that's not the one. I mean the basic of the knowledge tree. Like just knowledge, base skill.
Geography is 5, so that should be good enough.
But that's geography for the wildlands, not for here.
Yeah.
So
I don't have any.
I just need what you have in wilderness.
4.
So you roll the 4 then. To
D20 and over 4, right?
under 4, yeah.
Yeah.
So all of you are kind of discussing with each other, trying to figure out whose the farm is over there. And some of you, I won't mention any names, have some crazy ideas about who's owner of this farm. Like, that must be the shield girl. You say like shield girl Rudur Fendikte's farm, right? And Alpakka says no, Rudur Fendikte. That's the guy living on the Eastern Islands. That can't be him. I think actually Kraltjan Bite talked about this farm before a few days ago. You say this, I think, is Einbjörn Lodabrod's Shieldjarl Einbjörn's farm. This is the clan that House Bite supports, which in turn supports Shieldjarl Wolfgat. So he said, yeah, this must be Shieldjarl Einbjörn's farm. He's one of the major powers in this area. Yeah, sure, Brian. So, by the way, I need to pee. So let's take a little pee break. Brian is going as well. So let's all just take a pee break and then start again. Okay?
See ya.
Just a few minutes, and I need to get something to drink as well. Good work, Alpakka. So yeah, I'll be right back, huh?
Yeah. What the fuck am I doing here?
I just going to check this out.
I have no idea. Did you put that snare? I just find anything under a rock.
Because of your failure and your waving with the hands before it'll be most likely, nah, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Can't be right.
Yeah. No, that's the weirdest thing I ever been into.
See you soon.
No, just getting that kind of weird numbers. Oh god. Only me. I am the one left.
I like this phone.
These rolls are crazy, like 20s and stuff.
Yes.
What the hell is going on? And now you got a 1. So 1 is in this system. Yeah, you guys know, but I can explain to the people watching. 1 is a perfect roll since it's a roll under system, and 20 is a fumble or a yeah. So
Question?
yeah.
Is it allowed to actually roll your own die?
Yeah, it's fine. Just be honest with your rolls.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's more fun, I think, for everybody to roll in the game, like on roll 20, just because everybody can kind of react to it then, you know.
that's true. And
Like-
then it's
like I
no
do.
question about it. Well, that case on the screen. So
Cheers.
I don't understand how I can do these rolls.
Who was it?
because of your
Who was it that got the branch of
Jorin.
the copper oak? Was that your Flynn?
That was Licklig.
was
Yes.
Flynn.
Okay, I will just write that down.
I have the acorns.
Who was that?
I have the acorns. I'm going to roll a 1d4. See how many I got.
Sure. And that's you, Elendil, right?
No, that's Jorin.
Oh, sorry. I think maybe we should do like Siggi tend to do. Like say your character's name before you say what you do. Because it's a little bit difficult still for me to recognize you guys' like voices and stuff. I can recognize Alpakka because he has such a horrible accent and Nirnie as well. But you Americans are
Nei,
difficult.
du din lille nisse, skal vi snakke.
What are you talking about? You think I have an accent? I don't think so.
Oh, so we got a question in the chat from the Twitch.
Oh yeah, please. I will take a look.
Yeah, anyone playing Vitner Weaver?
We got a question. Yo. Anyone playing with me, Beaver? So who is playing Vitner Weaver? Alpakka, you have a little bit Vitner.
Yeah, just a bit.
When was this, by the way? Did we miss it a long time ago?
No, it's
just now.
just now.
Oh, good. So can you keep track of that a little bit, Alpakka? Because I don't really have space for
Yeah,
the chat. The
I
moderator.
have both of you there.
Good. So
Which
Alpakka, perfect. Alpakka is playing a little bit Vitner Weaver, but main is Rogue. And then, let's see here. Siggi, Valravn, you're playing Vitner / Dimwalker, right?
It's Morten Stensberg from the Facebook group, by the way.
Oh, nice. Welcome. Awesome. Welcome here. So yeah, Siggi, but you're focusing on Dimwalker, Siggi, right?
Yeah, for reasons having to do with if I roll 20 every.
It could go bad, yeah. If you roll a 20. And then we have, I think none else. That's the two of you, right? That has a little bit of Dimwalker. I know we don't have a 100% Dimwalker guy with us right now. I mean Vitner. Sorry, yeah. Brian Jorin is Dimwalker, but I meant Vitner Weaver. So yeah, nice to have you, Morten. Huh? You're welcome. Okay, are we kind of ready to
Man, I want to see a fumble roll, so I do so badly. Sorry, man. Roger.
Fumble.
It's going to be a very short campaign if you fumble again with the
Yeah,
I
like.
fumble, it's going to be over.
Do you want to tell them about that Siggi out of character?
Yeah, out of character, I have a spell going with a duration of a year that has like 67 points in it. So no matter what I roll on a fatal failure, it's everybody in 300 meters dies.
Pretty much. So you don't want him to fumble.
Okay, then I stay. This is Elendil. Out of character. I stay 301 meters away.
Well, your character doesn't really know about that, so.
No, I know.
Yeah, but don't worry, I actually swapped some things out, so I just have like a splash of Vitnercraft now, and I'm more focused on Dimwalk, whatever faith is. Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna upload a picture of.
I've gotten it.
Is everybody back, by the way?
Yeah, everybody is back, I think.
Flynn wanted you to check your email.
Okay. Flynn.
That paperwork may have gotten there. I may have found a way around.
And there's some discussion going on in our 20 chat about whether or not at this thing, if any of your family is going to be there, and if not, will there be families that will be friends or foes? Stuff like that. I don't know. I can't answer that.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
In the
You can read it if you want.
In the Roll20 chat, sorry, I was doing some other stuff. Let's see, the thing will be large. Respected. It's not. Okay, sorry, Flynn, I'm always missing your messages for some reason. I will first, before I answer you, I will move you guys over to the picture of the map. Can you see it? The map?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. So we can have another kind of picture.
From the Twitch chat, it's going. That's why the Tens of Nid says burn the witch, I guess.
So you guys are kind of, let's see here, like, somewhere here. Let's see if I can paint something. Can you see that? I was trying to paint something here. Like, here maybe? Yeah, somewhere there. And you're going, like, here.
We had to
right.
zoom that.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit. Yeah, please. So you're like going.
It looks so long.
Oh, you're painting in the pixels.
Yep, I saw that. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to do. Okay, guys, I'm still learning here. So, yeah, you're kind of going that way.
Straight way.
It's a winding road. Okay, I already told you guys.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go back to. Oh, now Flynn is gone.
Um,
Oh, is Flynn still here?
Flynn's just went.
Hey, you just stepped
I
out
can
real
hear
quick.
you.
Waiting for us.
He's rummaging through some cabinet or something in his kitchen.
Okay. All right.
He can hear us.
All right. So Flynn, you asked about the thing, right? So the thing is usually quite. Yeah, the thing is usually quite large, and it's just outside of Grim Village. So if I make another freehand painting here, so the thing is gonna be like here somewhere. If you can see over here, maybe. So that's where the thing is gonna be outside of Grim Village. Yeah, exactly. And it's a pretty big thing. This thing itself is not a major thing of the year, but it's kind of more like a friendly gathering where they discuss some politics and stuff. And it's in the land of Jorn Entlof, Shield Jarl Jorn. But all the Shield Jarls will come here. Wolfgat will come from Saga. Jorn will come from Trollmark Castle. Up in the Here's the Trollmark Castle. Saga is down here. They will both come. They are not sure if the Shield Jarl Rodur from Klipp on the east here will come, because that's quite far to get. But it's kind of just like one of many during the year. And you reckon they will talk about the laws, and they will not agree like always. And then they will have a little bit of some kind of tournament maybe. And then they will like depart as not friends still. That's pretty much what usually happens. Okay, so you pass the massive farmstead of Einbjörn Lodabrot, Shield Jarl of
There's
this
some
area.
dispute about that.
Huh? What are you
There's
saying,
some
Arne?
dispute about where we were us going.
Well, Alpakka seems to be quite clear on it, but last you heard, Alpakka's character was actually from the Wildlands or something. So you don't really know if he's right either, but it kind of sounds right. It could be Einbjörn.
Valravn's gonna just say, isn't that where the tax is bound after we get to the cousin's place at Bearfield?
What?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you reckon. But as far as you understand it, they usually like get the tax together in Magnus farm, and with all the different, because it's not only Kraltjan, it's also other cousins and brothers and stuff in other farms around here that put them all together there, because Magne is the clan chieftain of House Bite. So they kind of just gather everything there, and then he takes it there at some point of the thing is over. That's kind of how you understand it. A little bit later, the sun is starting to go down towards, and it's starting to become afternoon. And when you go around a hill, you still have the forest on the east side, on the right side, and you have a little bit of hilly meadows on the left. But you go around a hill and you hear something in the distance. So make a perception roll with a 1d20 plus or minus your perception, and you need to get under 10. Well,
Perception.
so what's your perception, Flynn? Your trait perception on the first page.
Hold on. Let me find it.
What's that under?
It's on character traits under traits. It's not a skill, it's a trait.
Right, it's a trait.
I got a
Now
0, so
we're adding our perception?
Yeah, so these are the main traits like charisma, constitution, this kind of thing. So you take 10 plus your perception, and then you roll under that.
0, and what is my target number?
So you take 10 is the base, plus your perception, whatever that is, and then you need to roll under that.
I roll a 14. Elendil.
I'm 19, so no. Run.
So Valravn, did you make it, Siggi?
I think I did the math right. It's 1d20 plus your perception, right?
No, 1d20, and then you take 10 plus your perception, and roll under that. You don't add a plus to the 20.
Okay.
So it's
I
actually
rolled very well then.
20.
Yeah, so if we can start doing
Well,
that,
I had to roll
I just did the stat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I had to roll under 12, so I got a 6. Okay.
Yeah, so some of you recognize the sound as horses coming around the bend.
There's horses. We should get to the side. Are they traveling fast?
No, it seemed like a normal speed for a traveling
Galloping?
company.
Is
No,
the
not
road-
galloping, just...
Is the road wide enough for both of us?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. All right. We'll just ease over to one side, I guess.
Dagger's gonna pull his shield off of his back.
Right?
I see
As
in
Val
darkness.
says to everyone, be prepared for anything.
Mm. So after...
Okay.
Yeah, Nirnie?
Yeah, I think
see
I'm
in
going
darkness.
Nirnie.
into the shadows.
Okay, you want to go into the side? Yeah? Question?
I see in shadow, in darkness, because I'm a dwarf.
Yeah, it's not that dark yet. It's not, the sun hasn't gone down yet. It's just afternoon.
Are they
So
close enough so we can see them, or are they?
no, they're around the bend, so you haven't seen them yet. You just heard them.
Yeah.
Or hiding. I want to go into hiding.
Okay, so that's.
Camouflage.
Do you want to camouflage or do you want to walk in shadows? Do you want to like move or do you want to stand still?
I want to stand still, so it's camouflage.
Okay, so what's your skill value?
Skill value is 10 by the camouflage, and the shadow arch is 7.
So shadow arch is 7, and then shadowing is what?
No, shadowing is 8 plus 10.
I don't think so. What's your base skill value in shadow arch?
Skill level 1, 8.
I mean, in
Yeah.
shadow arch base skill, you have level what?
Yeah,
8?
1.
1?
Base skill is 1, yeah.
But you're a rogue. Why do you have only 1?
Because we put some skill levels in everything else.
I think you're misunderstanding me. Let me see.
I just go into.
See, your character is somewhere here. Is this maybe this one? This is Franz. And then we have... I'm Trying to get your character.
So did the rogue not put any points into rogue stuff?
Okay, Alpakka.
I put actually more in Vitner. I have 76 in Vitner, by the way.
Because remember, you had like 50
Man.
points you could only put into your classes stuff.
Hey man, you have 7 in Shadow Arts.
Yeah.
Not 1. The
Yeah, I
base,
said
the
7.
base skill, not the shadowing. Shadow Arts.
Shadow Arch is 7, yeah.
So you have 7, and then you have plus your shadowing. That's 1, and then plus your camouflage. That's 2 extra. So total of 10.
10, okay.
So please roll under 10.
Yeah, anytime he asks you what you have to roll under, you want to look in the SV column.
Yeah.
Yeah,
SV, yeah.
You're right. And then type it in as I did, the /R 1d20 less than, and then what your target, what you're supposed to roll under, and then it'll say success or not.
20 less than 12. Is less than 12, right?
Less than 10, huh?
Less than 10, yeah.
No successes. Okay, so you don't manage to hide.
Nope.
But you go out in the woods a little bit anyway, so you're like kind of out of the way. So after a minute or two, around the corner comes 9 men on massive battle-trained horses. In the front of this column of men rides a large man with raven black hair. All of the men in this column are shaved. Their head is shaved, except the one in the front. He has long, kind of like almost like dreadlocks. And you can tell they are all warriors, well equipped with armor and weapons, and there's a total of 9 of them. So, what do you want to do?
So,
Uh,
greet them.
do they have any banner or something?
No banners, what you can tell. It's not very common with banners here.
Okay, yeah.
But you can do a lore and legends Stormlands check with a +5.
Oh, +5.
Lore
Then
and
this
legends
won't be a problem
Stormlands.
at all.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ouch.
20.
But I mean, this is a kind of easy thing to know if you're from the Stormlands. You're from the Stormlands, right?
I'm the dwarf.
Okay, so you have no idea what this is. Brian.
I also rolled the wrong skill, but that wouldn't matter anymore.
Yeah, you don't know. So Brian. Yeah. Anybody want to say something?
Yeah, I made a 1.
What's up?
Oh yeah. So Brian, you managed to know what this is about. So the people with shaved heads, these are normal Stormlandish warriors. It's quite common in the Stormlands. It's a kind of culture that you don't really need to follow, but most people do, where after you killed your first person in combat, you're allowed to shave your head. Some people keep like a just a ponytail. Some people shave everything. But you don't really know about the guy in the front though. With the raven black hair, why he isn't shaved. He seems to be the leader of these guys. So he should, by any regard, have killed people and this kind of thing, right? So let's do another check of Lore and Legends Stormlands without +5 to see what's that about.
Oh, great. I should have it as like a regular skill, but I don't because I was raised here because everything shows alpha on the thing, but I'm just going with the main knowledge right now.
All right. Anybody else want to try to see if they know why he's not shaved?
0 successes.
I can try again.
Yeah, sure. Go for it. It's no +5 this time.
No, less than 10, right? Or
No. It's your skill value in Lore and Legends Stormlands in the knowledge.
yeah, I'm Wildfolk.
Yeah. So what is your knowledge skill?
Yeah, my knowledge skills is 1.
Okay, so you need to do that one.
Yeah. D20.
I'm talking about the base skill now, Alpakka.
Yeah, SV 1.
Knowledge, SV1. You didn't add anything to that.
No,
Okay.
I just have 1.
So you guys have no idea what this is about. But you have seen some warriors before with black hair that are not shaved. Most people in this area are blonde or red hair, so it seems to be some kind of outsider, perhaps. When you get a little bit closer, he gestures to the other warriors to stop, and he approaches you by himself, and he asks, "Who are you, and what's your business here?"
I'll step forward because I'm probably the one that's of a known house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Jorin Ravenhold. We are taking taxes to the thing for from the farm of Bite. I say his full name. I can't remember.
Okay. Does any of you have poor clothing?
Yes.
I have.
Dagger does.
Right. But Alpakka, you're not in sight right now.
No.
But he seems to look at on the people with poor clothing. He's kind of looking at you guys a little bit suspiciously, and saying, "So who are these people?" He's pointing at the poor clothed people and saying, "There's been sightings of highwaymen on this road here. So what's your business here?"
Again, we are taking taxes from the harvest at the farm to the north.
Where do you come from?
Say the farmer's name to the north for the thing.
Right. So you say you come from Kraltjan's Jukashearth farm, and you're going to Bearfield
farm. Yeah.
You're going to Bearfield. Yeah. Perfect. So he says, "Okay, I just need to check your what you have in the cart. Just give me a moment."
Under what authority?
I am Dvorgel. I am the leader of Magnus' personal hild. Shield, clan chieftain Magnus' personal hild. This here is our land.
Do they have like heraldry or anything like on their shields?
No, but you recognize the name, and you remember that Kraltjan said that Magnus' hild was on its way to him to join his hild and go to the thing. Flynn?
Yes. Kjartan said we might pass by you.
Do you mind if I check what you're carrying there?
Not at all. It is bound for your farm.
He jumps off his massive horse and starts walking towards you guys, and you can see, like you could see it before as well. Like compared to the other guys, he has like raven black hair, like kind of like dreadlocks, and he looks quite different from the other people. He kind of looks more like Alpakka's character than the Stormlandish people. And Alpakka's character
Dagger is gonna shift his shield back onto his back, kind of relaxing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So he starts looking around a little bit in the cart, and one of the other warriors is also coming over there to take a look, and they kind of talk with each other, and they seem to be like muttering something to each other, right?
Val's gonna keep an eye out that they don't take anything.
Mm-hmm. So
I will also watch them suspiciously.
Sure. So they seem to be quite happy with what they found, and they seem to be what they expected. So they say, he approached you guys again and said, "Okay, I see. Everything is fine here. I just urge you guys to be careful on the road ahead. Like I said, there's been sightings of highwaymen here. If you want, you can use our night camp. It's just up ahead. It's in a small cave off the road. It shouldn't be too difficult to find. There should be like a place to put up fire and stuff like that. We built it up quite well for you guys, so you're welcome to use that if you want." And then
Thank you.
he kind of just greets you and jumps on his horse again, and they continue towards Jukashearth. So to find the camp, if you want to do that, you need to do a finding and spotting with +5 up ahead.
Do we want to?
Is it You say that it is +5 on the roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody recognize this guy?
Yeah,
So how it works is you have the base stat of a situation roll is always 10, plus minus whatever the difficulty. So 10 plus 5, you need to roll under. Well, no, sorry, I'm confusing you guys. You take your spotting, finding and spotting, and add 5 to it. So that's what you need to roll under. And so, for example, Alpakka should be able to do it quite easily, and also our ranger friend. Jorin should be able to do it quite easily. So
I
let's.
don't have any finding spotting.
Oh, you don't have no. So Alpakka,
Walking and stuff.
you have find. What's your total SV with the? On the side there.
7.
But you have Shadow Watch 7, right?
Yeah, Shadow Watch is 7.
And then you have Shadowing 1.
Shadowing is 1, yeah.
So that's 8. And then do you have Finding and Spotting?
Nothing.
You didn't put anything in Finding and Spotting?
Nope.
So
The most important skill.
Right.
Build does have some.
Okay, so add 5 to whatever you have, and then try to roll under.
7, 8.
So Alpakka, you can start.
Like this.
Let's look at your character. So Alpakka has.
Yep, that's 8 plus 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Alpakka, you after some looking around, you find the cave. There's a cave. So let me explain the cave here. So it's like a small cave off the road. Who is killing a dog, by the way?
Sorry, it's my son's dog. I don't understand what's going on.
It's okay. So it's a small cave off the road, like I said. There's a built-up fireplace inside. The floor of the cave is covered with some spruce twigs and stuff like that. And outside the cave is a small lean-to that you can kind of cover the entrance with. So it seems quite comfortable. It seems like a very good place to kind of settle down a little bit and to take a rest. And it's actually already getting dark, so it might be a good idea to stop there. So what do you want to do?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are any markings.
Are we close enough that we'll make
Sorry, Flynn.
We'll make it tomorrow before sundown, or do we have to press on?
You will make it until before sundown tomorrow, you reckon. And what about you, Nirnie? What do you say?
I just said that Flynn had a question. So.
Oh, that's what you want to say. Okay.
Is this something that we can wrap up in the next 30 minutes, or is this a good time to stop the first section right now?
I was hoping to get a little bit further, but it's difficult to tell. Roleplay like doing this for the first time. We didn't do any combat now. I was hoping we could do some combat as well to get to know that a little bit. But combat takes quite a long time, so if you only have 30 minutes, we might want to pause it here for now.
No, we bed at the camp. I vote for camp, by the way.
Yeah, I vote for camping too.
Okay. So, should we stop it here for now then?
Fine then.
Good with me, yeah.
So, so what about next week? Do you have time around the same time next week, or what do you reckon? Or is there another time that works better for you guys?
Should be able to. I am away for the weekend, but I will be hopefully back on Sunday.
Okay.
Occasion on Friday, so
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. Like I said, I was hoping to get a little bit further than this, but yeah, it's difficult to tell the first time playing through this game and stuff. So, but yeah. So, what's your impressions so far of the game? I mean, like I said, I'm a new DM myself, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But yeah, give me some feedback, guys, so I can learn.
One of the biggest things that we need to do is we need to pretend that we're around the table, and so use the GM should call on us with the what are you going to do? Go around the table either in some kind of order, so we all get our say, so we're not talking over each other or those type of things. And Alpakka's got his hand, so go ahead.
Like if you do see me, or Ricochet is on that side of me and you're on that side, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
everyone sees like that, so we can go from one after each other in a circle like that.
Yeah, like that's something I was trying to figure out before as well. Like I played around a table, like physically, of course, and that's totally different because then you can kind of tell. And since we have some people with not such a good connection, looking at Flynn, for example, it's difficult for Flynn, for example, to get heard since he's always lagging behind a little bit. So either we go through each person at the time. I ask, okay, so Alpakka, what does your character do, and Brian, what do you do, and so on, right? Or we can have people write their name in the chat. That's also another way to do it, or just write one or something, or just write something small.
There's a way to track it in here, like kind of like an initiative thing, like a pop-up or something. But I think
maybe
like
you could. Yeah, is there like a way to raise your hand or something? I don't know. But yeah, so let's figure that out until next time, and we can talk about it on Discord and stuff as well.
I am quite for, because we got everybody's picture or a little symbol for them.
Mm-hmm.
You are on my far left, and then we go down the line.
Yeah, maybe that's easier.
I would say do it that way than to try and put it in chat and do anything else.
The thing is, when you do it that way, maybe not everybody wants to do something. So maybe if we're having a conversation with some NPCs, it could be a little bit cumbersome to every time ask, okay, so Alpakka, what do you say? Brian, what do you say? Siggi, what do you say? Maybe it's better just to like raise your hand in the chat.
We're going to have to do that when we do initiative anyway.
Okay, raising your hand in chat, because I don't have a camera, it doesn't really work for me.
I mean, in the actual text chat. Then it's because you don't have a camera that I say that.
Okay.
Just write like a 1 or something like this, and then I can just go down through there. And I mean, sometimes we might be able to talk and not raise our hands. We kind of have to feel it, right? But if you want to have something said, you can just write like that. Yeah, like that. So that way I can say, okay, so Wildhelm, what are you doing? How come Wildhelm and Alpakka have two different names? Are you making fun, Alpakka?
Of course.
Always. Very fun. Playing with the poor GM, trying to keep track of all the freaking characters you guys have. And some of you haven't even have 2, so. Damn you guys. So yeah, other feedback.
That was the biggest thing that I was thinking about how the skill was worked, but I think that I got a hand of it.
And by the way, I saw you change your name, Elendilgbb. That's perfect. Maybe Alpakka can do that too, and that makes it easier for me because I have like a list like this with all of your names, but I'm like looking down on it all the time. Okay, so who the hell is Alpakka now again? You know, this kind of thing. So it really helps having.
The thing about the SV is whenever he says to add a number to it, you're adding the number to the SV value.
Yeah.
So it's increasing what you roll under.
Exactly. It's never added to the die.
It's basically always going to be a straight 1d20.
So,
and then the DC is determined by your skill value plus whatever modifier he gives.
So, for example, if he wants me to roll a knowledge check versus understanding Vrok, and it's got a modifier of 5, because I've been there, my skill's a 7, so that means I need to roll under a 12. So I would do that.
Exactly.
And I didn't, and I failed.
Exactly, perfect. So yeah, that's the basics of the skills, and it's very good with Siggi's automatic sheet, right? Because it actually shows you the SV value on the right part of the. Okay, you have an actual nice man. That's respected, Brian, right there. But if you have the automatic one, it will show you on the right part. You don't need to add it together by yourself. And if you want to add it together by yourself to learn about this, you always take the base skill, the one with the black on the real sheet, right? Like, for example, knowledge, right? Knowledge is the base skill. You take that SV, and then you go to the disciplines. You have culture knowledge, or language learning, or race knowledge. These are the disciplines. Yeah, you can see that, right? The one in bold black. And then you add the skill value there, and then you go if you have a discipline as well. And when I call out a skill check, I will call out the speciality. So, for example, lore and legends is a speciality under knowledge, under culture, right? So I won't say like, oh, I want you to roll knowledge, culture, lore and legends. I will just say lore and legends, and hopefully you will know where it is. And this is something we need to just get used to. Another thing, if there's a situation roll that's not about your skills, the base is always 10, okay? And then plus minus whatever modifier I give you. So, anything else?
Situation roll are for your situation roll is when you're so you have skill rolls and you have situation rolls. Situation rolls use traits, and they're like your saves in D&D kind of thing.
In the middle.
And you do 10 plus whatever value is there. So my character has a -2 to charisma. If I'm making a charisma situation roll, I have to roll under an 8 plus or minus whatever modifier is given.
So, for example, when we did the perspective to hear the horses, I took a 10 and then added your perception, and that's where you roll under that, for example. So this is kind of the difficult part with this game, all the math and stuff. And if you're not inclined to math, this game system can be quite heavy. But Brian?
Yeah, especially when we get to combat, because that's like, you have to recalculate stuff like every turn.
Or just have that map done ahead of time. And have it, like, if we know the situation rolls are going to be 10, then we add that up automatically. Or whatever. I mean, I transferred everything here, so I wasn't switching through another tab on my computer. So that's why I like the paper version, because you can see it straight there. Of course, the good thing with Siggi is that everything is automatically calculated for you. Yeah, I just transferred that over. Yeah.
But like, if you have the normal sheet, the most important part is the second page. With the combat samples here and the initiative up here, because this is something you should have done ahead of time. We don't have really time to do that in combat, and that's why I asked Siggi to add the initiative tab on the automatic sheet and stuff, because you get a different initiative depending on your equipment, right? And that's something that we should calculate ahead of time. So on your automatic sheet on the first page, on the bottom right, click on the drop-down menus there and add the weapons and armor that you're going to use. This needs to be already in the equipment tab, by the way, on the automatic sheet. And then that way, for example, you click on the bow, right? So that way you can see what is your modifier on your initiative. Initiative is 1d10, an open roll on 10, plus minus your initiative modifier. So that's for combat later. But most important thing for combat, to prepare for combat, is see how many points you have in combat capacity, right? Combat points, and that's from your fighting skill. And this is something you can add on the second page as well, under here, right? Combat points. If you need help with this, I can help you with this as well. I don't know if there's a good thing for this on your sheet, Siggi. Is there?
Yeah, there isn't. I probably will add a section for it.
I mean, on the first page of the sheet, you have the combat capacity already put out there in the different.
Yeah, I have the breakdown of what points you have, but I don't have like anywhere to put like, hey, you can spend this on this and this and this.
So on the real sheet, you have samples of attack, right? Yeah, right there. So that's where you can write, like, you have all the different weapons here, right? Bows and slings and so on. And then next to them you have samples. So that's something you should fill out. And I usually write it like this. I take the maximum skill value that I can have in that weapon. If I only use that for one attack. And I write that down first. And then I'm thinking, okay, so if I want to take half of this for a one attack and half of it for a parry, then I write down that as well. So you kind of have an idea. Because some points are locked to some specific ability, right? Like some points are locked to your one-handed weapons. Some points are locked to your shield. Some points are locked to only attack and parry. Or only using weapons, not unarmed fighting. And so on. But we have another week to prepare this now. So let's sit down and do that together during the week on Discord. And
read the books, read some rules.
Yeah, read the books, the combat section of the books, because this is one of the heaviest parts of this system. And if you don't have any idea of what you're doing, and I'm trying to explain it to you, you're gonna fall asleep, like Alpakka did now.
No, I didn't.
So just like this, a little bit of a pressure on you guys to read up on the combat, and also I expect you guys to read up on your special abilities like Dimwalker abilities and Vitner abilities, and
how to activate them and what happens when you fail.
Yeah, right, and also knowing where in the book they are. Maybe you can write down on your notebook or something the page numbers, or make a bookmark or something. And also in the combat section, you have these combat actions. I can link you this document later. This is not me that did this; somebody else made it. I just downloaded it, and this
That would be great.
Yeah, this is all the stuff that you can do and the cost of it in a combat. You can do pretty much anything you can think of. If you want to do something specific, like jump up on the back of somebody and stick them with a dagger, I will come up with some rule for that. But it's up to you guys to figure it out. But it's just like the basic combat actions you can do, like cast a spell, movement, communicate orders, draw your weapon. You can do a feint, for example. You can do a grapple. You can try to hit the weapon out of their hand. How does mounted combat work? If you want to jump over an object, like overcome an object, avoid an object.
And this is all the Game Master's book as well. Master's guide.
Exactly. Yeah, this is straight from the Game Master's book. When I play physically with my friends here, I give them one of these little sheets like this. It's quite useful. Any other questions or feedback or anything like that?
Right now, I think.
You know what you could do. And I don't know if this is going to help things, but if you said you had a list of everybody's names, but if you had had index cards or everybody's name on an index card, you could use that for going around the table as well. And so just cycle through those cards.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way. And I will take even more notes and stuff for next time. I have like my notebook here with all the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, because it's going to be hard to. I mean, I think there's a way that we can set up our. I don't think we can state what order we see each other in, because from left to right, it's you,
like
Alpakka, me.
All that stuff. Yeah, like I see
it's
all you guys.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so I will just say, like, for me it's Alpakka, Brian, Siggi, Elendilgbb, Nirnie, and Flynn in that order.
That's what I see. Yeah.
And it's gonna change every time.
It should be what you see as the GM and how you go around the table.
Right. So don't worry about that.
Last, but...
Don't worry about that. Another thing that you can do is something I did as well for initiative.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
I just pre-rolled initiative like this for my NPCs. So for the combat later, because we roll initiative every combat round in this game. So that could be also useful for you guys to pre-roll initiative.
When it comes to initiative.
Yeah. And just roll the base initiative roll without any modifiers. And just write down on a page or something, and then we can just go them one at a time. And I will just trust you guys to give me the right number. Because, like I said, we roll initiative in every combat round in this game.
Okay.
So that's quite heavy too.
Roll20 also has an initiative feature where you can.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to mention earlier.
In the bar on the left where you have like all your drawing and stuff like that, there is one of them is initiative, and it'll pop up a little menu.
Oh, like a turn order.
A turn order. And then as long as everyone has a token, they can assign initiative.
Yeah, that's right too. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how this works, but
like in the character sheet, there should be like an initiative part where we can say, "Hey, this turn I'm going to have this modifier, and I'll roll it."
Okay, yeah, that's something we can do, but it feels like that would be more work than just rolling out a game and
yeah, it probably will be.
So in the combat, then, just to give you an example, I will start by counting down. We will do a D10. Open roll 10 plus minus your initiative modifier, and I will count down like 20 to 15, and then the people that have 20 to 15 says whatever they have, and then I will continue like that, and I will do that every round. So maybe we can even have a practice combat on Discord at some point during the week if you want. Like we can kind of like we're not on at the same time, all of us, but you can kind of find a time to do that, or you can ask your questions. But yeah, read through the combat section of the player's book, and also maybe even better the game master's book.
Game master book.
And make sure you know your abilities, and also how to use them and stuff, and at least have an overview, and at least know where to look. And yeah, you're in charge of your own character and knowing the abilities, because I don't have time to look through everything, sadly.
I did a separate Word document for each of my skills where I went through and laid them out. I need to go back and actually read them a little bit more.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, that was just to kind of help me understand what I had picked, because the name sounded cool, and what the character can actually do.
Right. Yeah. So that's good, man. That's we can all find a good way to do it that works for us. So yeah. If there's nothing else, let's finish here for today then.
So one question we had prior to camping was by Flynn, and I believe you were asking, are there any markings of guards outside if we're going to set up camp? He wants to do a couple things.
I mean, you can tell that like the herd, like Dvorgel said from the herd, right? He said that they've been using that during the night, so you can see like dropping some horses and stuff. They seem mostly to also be inside a cave, so maybe you want to throw them out. I mean, it's well used. I mean, it seems to be a common camp place for travelers on this road. So yeah. So it's not very hidden or anything like that. It's some place that most people know about, you reckon? So anything else?
Not that I'm aware of at the moment. May have questions as we go along.
Yeah, any complaints or something like that? Any other feedback? Like I said, I'm doing this to learn as well, to learn to GM. And like I said, this is like my second or third time GMing. So yeah, just tell me straight out. I'm not thick-skinned, so just tell me if something is not good or can be better or more interesting or something. So I'm expecting you guys to be honest with me.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is we definitely do need to figure out how to get people turns, because I know I really didn't get a word in edgewise, and that's fine for this particular character. I know Flynn seemed to have a lot of problems. This happens in every game.
Yeah, this is also the problem with playing over Discord, right? This is the kind of stuff we need to figure out. Since
took her out, but she's been barking pretty hard.
Yeah. So let's try to talk about, and let's be next time. Let's try to get on here a little bit earlier. Like I was here like a half an hour before, but we're all set up and everything works because there's a lot of stuff for me to prepare with the Twitch on OBS as well. So just try to and that would be fine. But I had fun anyway. Good first session. Let's do session 2 on Sunday the same time then. And let's meet up on Discord and talk like we always do. And if somebody that's watching us now want to join, you have the Discord down below. So you just join there. I also added, if you guys didn't see, I also added a link to the world I'm building on World Anvil, which is a really cool site. I'm not sure how much you can see. I tried to show you all of this thing that you could possibly know. And this could be fun for you guys to click on the different pins and learn about the different places in Ejdland.
Also, the link that you put to the character sheet I made, you posted it to the one in your drive, which is now in your trash. So you have to make that link go to the current version.
Right. I must have mixed them up or something. Cool. I will fix that. So yeah, Discord, and of course follow if you want to see more of this. We're all learning, so if you're also somebody that want to learn how to play this game or role play in general, and maybe we can learn together. So just join us, and like I said, join Discord. We have a lot of fun on there, sharing information and talking about the characters and the backstories, and a lot of fun. So, bye.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good work, guys. And
See ya.
bye.